Hey guys! So I'm back from my Puerto Rican trip. Clearly, I was sunburned and now I'm peeling. I didn't even know that I could get burnt and peel. I don't remember ever being burnt and peel. I probably did when I was a kid, but it's been like 30 years since that happened. But it was an amazing trip. There were so many enlightening moments. Even when I got on the plane to go to Puerto Rico, I sat next to a lady who was going to visit her sister who just passed away. She was 82. And she was telling me, I was asking her, I was like, how is it over there? What's the real estate like? And she says that, ever since America took over Puerto Rico, they haven't been doing well. And I have a theory on that. And she was saying that people are leaving and they're going to North America. So they're going to either Canada, America, or Mexico. And the only people that will buy the land are Mexicans. And a lot of people are just abandoning their homes. She was from Ponce. They're just abandoning their homes and they're just going away, like, without selling their properties because they can't get anybody to buy them. I have a theory that America, or real estate tycoons, or them, whatever you want to call them, do that on purpose. So basically what's going to happen is the real estate is dropping, they buy it, pennies on the dollar, and then they gentrify it and turn it into a tourist capital or into a vacation home for the rich and the wealthy. So my advice to you is buy as much property in Puerto Rico if you're Latin. Save it. If Puerto Rico could get its independence again, I'm all for it. I don't think we should be colonizing anymore. I think we're past the days of colonization. I don't think it's good for us. They're 72 or 82 billion dollars in debt, which is bad for us too. I don't know why America did this with Puerto Rico. I don't know if it was to get their resources or what the situation was, but we'll figure it. I mean, there's something. There's a reason. There's always a reason. We don't just do things because we feel like it. But if you guys have any insight, please leave any comments. Then the spiritual stuff. So, there's a lot. This trip basically realigned all my beliefs. People on the trip, there was only 4 of us total. So everybody on the trip said something that I have said or done in my past that basically reaffirmed everything. So there was like one lady asked the guy, she's like, what's your favorite mantra of mine? Because apparently she had told him before. And he said it was the one that had to do, or she said it was the one of them said it was the one that had to do with letting go of what you think you want so that you can have what you really deserve. Which is the message that I got from Buddha in Cambodia. And the reoccurring theme for this year for me. And I that's what my trip to Puerto Rico was. It was a spiritual awakening. It was time for me to let go all those things that didn't serve me. It was kind of ironic that it happened to be Puerto Rico. It was a free trip. It was just a blessing. Everything that happened on that trip, from the beginning to the end, including any of the altercations or whatever, were a blessing. They were a lesson. I was able to spread knowledge and learn from everybody, and I feel like we all gave each other good advice and helped each other out. This is breaking my heart. This homeless guy next to me, and I don't have a homeless bag to give him. I'm sorry, it's just bothering me. And then I met an amazing man named Douglas. He is a yoga instructor for 32 years. He was a professional principal ballet dancer and for Kansas City Ballet Company. And after that, he was an actor for a little while. Then he became a yoga instructor, and he was teaching me a lot of the healing that comes from yoga, because I'm more into healing. I don't really like yoga in groups. I don't mind yoga with a personal trainer, but I'm very sensitive to being at a gym and stuff like that. I've never liked it, not for the judgment, but just because I feel like it's a waste of time. I'd rather work out with friends, meaning climbing a mountain or hiking or doing some type of activity that equates to a workout. Walking with a friend. I'd rather do that than just sit at a gym and do it for me. And I know now I'm at the point in my life where my journey is about fixing my temple, because I've let it go. I've been focusing so much on other things that I let it go. And I think part of it, and this, I want to say this so that people can that might be going through this will understand. For me, being thin was very sexual. So I always maintained my body, and I was super thin because I always wanted to be sexy and sexual. When I gave that part up of myself, because I didn't want to be with anybody, I had no desire to work out or be thin because I wasn't planning on having sex. I haven't been with anybody in over 3.5 years, and I still don't know if I would even want to be with anybody. I haven't met anybody that I want to be with. Leave it at that. Because I just have a different set of rules of what it takes to be intimate with somebody. But now I'm at the point where it's like, I want to maintain my body because I want to live longer. I do want to get intimate again with somebody, and I do want to feel sexy. But I've always looked at this as a shell. You know, like our bodies are just a shell. And what you do with it is your choice. And how people view you is their choice. And I love people for who they are. Like, if you looked at my ex-boyfriends, some of them are really gorgeous, and some of them are like, but it's because they were amazing people. Like, I would rather be with an amazing person than a beautiful person. Some people say that they want both. I don't care. I just want to be with a good person that loves me more than I love them. So I always felt like if I could be that way, then I should be able to find a partner that feels that way. But men are more visual. So I'm starting to surround myself with more people like myself, and I'm hoping that will change things. But I also feel that it's, oh my gosh, I've been speaking with this thing on. I also feel that I don't know if this world is ready for that. I know certain parts of it are and certain people are, but we are a very vanity-laden society. And in Puerto Rico, I didn't feel bad wearing a bikini or walking around in my bikini. I felt comfortable and safe, but in America, I wouldn't. So that's interesting. What else? The energy there is amazing. I'm thinking about buying a property over there and having a vacation home there, just because of all the islands I've ever been to, or all the places I've ever been to. Only Barcelona and I guess Puerto Rico now speak to me. I still have to go to Barcelona. I'm going to see if I can go this year or possibly next year to see if I still feel the same way, because there was an energy that was drawing me there. We talked about the rose lines, about how there are certain places that have amazing energy, and they're all located, like the cities and the pyramids and all those spiritual places, the Aztec temples, are all located on rose lines. So look that up if you want. I'll make another video about that. But there are rose lines, specific meridian or, specific lines. I don't know if they're meridian lines, but they're lines that go across the globe that are major points of energetic fields. Very interesting to learn. Very cool places to visit too. We also spoke about our partners. So at dinner, we all talked about what we were looking for and what we wanted. So we spoke it into the universe. 4 very wonderful spiritual people. So hopefully, our energies align and we help each other manifest that which we spoke of. What else? We laughed a lot. When you're with people of your vibration level, you can't help but just laugh and enjoy life and see the things that other people don't see. It's very important to surround yourself with people that are on your vibrational level and one vibrational level above, so that you can always be moving forward. Never leave your friends behind, because they're going through their journey, and at some point they will catch up. Like my friend that in January was a mess, and then all of a sudden she's like on the same vibrational level, and we're talking about the same things, and she's doing all this research, and she's learning so much. We've been best friends since we were 17, so it's been like 20 years. But I don't know. Hold on, the policeman is coming. So hold on one second. And then yeah, please hurry up. There's police officers. I don't want to get a ticket. If you could just hurry up. And then, do you see them? He's just trying not to get a ticket. Then what else? We were laughing a lot. Oh yeah, so there was that's a personal moment. I'm not going to share that, but there was a lot of laughter. And then we spoke about yoga. There was a lot of yoga speaking, a lot of breathing. So he was saying that like you can look at somebody, and when you tell them to breathe in yoga, if they're like, and they have short breaths, they have a lot of control issues. They have such tightness in their chests and the back of their necks, so many control issues that they can't move forward. That's why they're stuck in the breathing. To breathe, you have to breathe in all the way through to your like diaphragm and fill it up, and then let it out. And breathe through your nose. I yawn a lot because I need to yawn and open my mouth to get all the air in. But it's very important. That's part of yoga, is to release. And he says that what you do is when you breathe in, you're engaging, and you're spreading everything out, including your ribs and everything. And then when you release, you're releasing. You know, when you let go, you're releasing. So the in-breath is engaging, and the out-breath is release. It's very important to release and let go, which is what yoga is all about. It's important to relax the body and increase circulation. If you have varicose veins, if you have muscle soreness, issues with your tendons, issues with, bad knees and stuff like that, it's not a cure-all, but it does help. And sometimes it does cure. What else? I'm doing it now because of circulation, and I want to make sure that my body gets back into alignment, because I've noticed my back has been hunching, and I'm just heavier. But I feel like if I were to work out, I would be in better shape, and everything would work out better. Maybe my chakras would realign, or I think everything would work better. So there's just so much going on in the city today. So I was telling him that I don't really like doing yoga as a group, because I'm very sensitive to other people's energies, and when they release and they're thinking and all these things fly out of their head, that it's an issue. And I don't want to absorb their energy. So I'd rather just have a one-on-one session, or, I have a lot of videos and play my videos at home and do yoga that way. But I'm not big into that. Same thing with meditation. I don't like meditating with large groups of people or with people. I mean, I did in the past, but I'd rather just meditate at home, or meditate with, someone that I feel comfortable with. He was talking about alpha and beta waves, and he says that when you're doing yoga, your waves shift, and animals feel it. So when people bring their animals, they actually see the animals calm down when the beta or the alpha levels shift. And so that's part of what yoga does, is it shifts your levels, right? Your vibration levels. But the interesting thing is that's what church does. So a lot of people congregate. That's what the power of church is, and the power of healing is when you put a bunch of people together. They have the same faith, they have the same belief, they're all focusing on one thing. You can make something happen. That's what rain dances were. Everybody focusing on rain, and then the rain would come. There's a club or a society called the Information Society that my friend was part of, and he said that they would have meetings, and they have people like all over the world that are part of the Information Society, and they would send an email out and say, at this time, all of you need to pray for this specific thing located in this place. So for example, like Kevin Trudeau had a lawsuit or something, right? And he's part of the Information Society. And they were all praying at the same time, or focusing their energy at the same time, that the lawsuit would like go away wherever he was. Like, so they had like a specific location, and they had a specific intention. And it's the same thing with church. It's the same thing with religion. That's why I believe colonization was the way of breaking up a society, so that you can break up the power that they have, so that when this new whatever came in, government or whatever came in, they would be able to take over, because united they couldn't, divided they could. Divided, they could also, divided, they could also break them from within, right? So people only have power when they're with others that believe and feel the same way. But divide and conquer is a very strong way to break apart the spirit of a culture. That's the best thing to say. Also, we were talking about colonization in general, just like how, people came over and colonized America, and then how America fought for its independence. But what they did to the Native Americans, they just slaughtered them, men, women, children, complete eradication of, different cultures. I mean, some people survived, but then all these people that did survive, they relocated them to different reservations. That land that they were on didn't have the energy that they put into it, and they have to rebuild it now. Basically reparations, But the whole point is that there's certain areas that have land and energy. I feel like Williamsburg had a certain energy. South Bronx has a certain energy. And then when they gentrify these areas, they break apart the culture and the community, and it makes it difficult, if not impossible, for someone to move forward and to let someone, for a whole society, it breaks them apart and breaks everything that they're working towards or trying to get to. All that energy that's been amassed over the years, all the land that has that positive energy. And I was telling the people that I was on the trip with that that's kind of like what they do. They come in, they gentrify it, right? They rape it of all its natural resources and energy. And then when it's done, they leave. It becomes a ghetto. People, that really are looking for low-income housing will go in, fix it all up, replenish the soil, put their energy back into it, put their love into it, make it new and fresh again. And then they come in and gentrify it again. Doing the same thing, divide and conquer, raping it of its resources, breaking up the culture, and then so it begins again. So I just wanted to put that out there because sometimes you don't realize what's going on. But energy and power and community are important, especially now at this time. We need to unite all of us, all races, all ethnicities. We're all the same. The bloodlines have mixed so much. Get over yourself if you think that you're pure and this is your right. And it's not. It's not. I don't care what you're fed. I don't care what you've been told. I don't care what aliens came on this planet and said it. Because you know what? We all came from different, races. We're all here for different purposes. And we've all chosen to intermix and mingle. And you may not like it, but it's kind of like segregation and racism. This is the world we live in right now. That time is over. And to sit here and try to bring that time back is ridiculous. You have to go with the times and move on, There's no race that's more powerful than another one. Everybody's developed at their own pace. Everybody's evolved, at their own pace. And some cultures are better at some things than others, but that's the beauty of the world is nobody can make it on their own. Nobody. If you read the book The Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, it says that no one's ever made it on their own. They've always made it with the help of someone, different factors that came in that gave them an advantage, the community that they were part of. Nobody makes it on their own, no matter how talented you are, or how smart you are. If you don't have help from other people, if you don't take help from other people, if you don't become part of a community that gives you a break, then you're not going to have that huge success that everybody's looking for. It's about opportunity, but it's also about being prepared for that opportunity. And whatever happens in your life prepares you for that opportunity. So community is a really, really, really important thing. And I think it's time for all of us to unite regardless of where you are. Just look at your neighbors and get to know them. Yes, there's still people with hate in their heart, this alt-right movement, and I'm sure there's other movements, ISIS, that they have hate in their heart. And we can't do anything about that but show and preach love. Because if you can love each person and show them that, at some point you hope that it will sway them and turn them into a more positive journey or path, if that makes any sense. There's like a really loud bus next to me, so I have to like, I hope you guys can hear me. But that's what I was looking at in Puerto Rico. It's not like Dominican Republic, because in Dominican Republic we are so mixed. We have a variety of all types of colors and people and ethnicities, and Dominicans are indigenous, African, French, and Spanish all mixed in together, whereas Puerto Ricans are more like indigenous and Spanish. They don't really have that African flair to them, or the French. So it's a little bit different, but we're all Tainos, and Dominicans and Puerto Ricans before colonization used to commute back and forth, and they were part of the Taino race. So you want to look up Tainos, because we're all Tainos, but that got divided somehow, and now there's like this big Dominican Puerto Rican thing going on, especially if you're in New York. I don't play into that. I don't really care. I love everybody, but I won't mix with everybody because of the energy thing. But it's not really an energy thing. It's more of like a feeling thing, like how I feel and how I relate to people. And anyway, I don't want to talk about me. What else? So we spoke about those things. The book, The Native New Yorker, I think I mentioned that in my other video. It's a really good book about New York and how Canal Street used to be a canal, Spring Street used to be a spring. It's crazy to think that, right? That we've ruined this beautiful, lush paradise and turned it into this city of rock and concrete. But that's what happened. And Water Street used to be water at that point, and then what happened was they threw so much garbage into the water that it like created like a landmass, and then they just poured concrete over it. So everything south of Water Street is literally garbage. Like if you were to go all the way down, you would start hitting garbage, and you would be able to find like old dolls and old, like, I don't know, whatever garbage they had at that time. So that's interesting, like horses and carriages and whatever. Garbage. So everything south of Water Street is literally garbage. And then they just built on it. They just filled it with like rock and concrete and all this other stuff, and on top of the garbage. I learned that when I went to Peace University. They had like a walking tour, and I had to take it. It was part of school, and it was interesting. Then what else? But we were talking about the book, The Native New Yorkers, and how the Algonquins, I believe it was, were such wonderful, beautiful people, and that Christopher Columbus wrote. They are just, he wrote about the first city that he landed in, which was in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. It was the first city that Christopher Columbus landed in on this side of the earth. It also became the port where slavery was, where people stopped before they hit the Americas, to restock and reload and do whatever they needed to do, where the slaves stopped first, which is why there's a big mixture. I think then they switched it to Haiti, which became a huge port for the slave ships to stop at. I think it's because it was closer to the Americas and it was on that upper side. But Christopher Columbus wrote that these are such beautiful, giving, kind people that they didn't even know what to do with the weapons. Like when they picked up the swords, they kept cutting themselves because they didn't know how to pick up the sword. They were picking it up from the sharp end instead of the other end. They didn't understand, the tools that they had and the things of war. And they weren't bad people. They were just good, innocent people. They welcomed them. They were beautiful. They were kind. And then they massacred them, all of them, including children. We need to realize that a lot of what we're living on was taken from people. And it wasn't just taken, they were killed. They were massacred. They were, like, I made a video about it. Imagine you're sitting at home and then somebody just walks in and kills your entire family and then takes your home over and starts living there like they built that home and they decorated it and they did everything. Like, imagine that. That's what happened to Hawaii. That's what happened to, it didn't happen in Puerto Rico. This is more of like a domestic, it was a peaceful takeover, but it was, people didn't kill millions of people. They did in Hawaii. They killed the queen. They killed a lot of the people that lived there. They did it with a lot of the Polynesian islands. They did it in Africa. They took kings and queens and princes and turned them into slaves and brought them to America. Like royalty, like families and generations of tribes and they divided them from different dialects, and they put them together, and they made sure that the ones that kind of knew how to speak together weren't really together. They were like sold and put apart because, again, they were trying to break up that community. They know what they're doing, and we need to be more aware and awake so that we can unite instead of divide. Oh, it's 5:55. I'm gonna make 5 wishes. Okay, and then so that was interesting. I want you guys to really look that up and get more insight on that, because there's no amount of reparation that you can do to fix that, and that's what really bugs me out, is because, and I said it before also, they were trying to take out slavery and the Holocaust from history books. That's unacceptable, because they don't want people to know what they've done. The history that we know is not real history. You're better off going into an Indian reservation and asking them about the true history of the world. And you'll see that most indigenous people have the same history that goes back to the Lemurians, and it goes back to the Atlanteans, and it goes back to the Great Flood, and it goes back to a lot of things. They all have the same story, but in different ways, because they all speak differently. But it's the same story. And I think it's really, really important that we respect that history. We need to know the real history of the world. Not the history that they choose to fabricate, the one that they create to control us. That's not what we need. We need the truth. Because with the truth shall set you free, and the truth will allow you to see what needs to be seen. And we're living in a lie. This is all a lie. This is all a lie, that we've chosen to live. It's a beautiful lie, but all in all, and it's a lie. And, when you talk to people who've lived through it, they'll tell you the truth. So there's a lot of people that try to say that the Holocaust never happened. There's people that try to say that there were never, gas chambers, people never died, and blah, blah, blah. That's not true. Millions of people died. They were emaciated when they found them. Those people didn't survive. I don't care what anybody says. They're trying to make you think that, maybe it didn't happen. It happened. There were way too many accounts and too many stories of people that were telling you what happened. It happened. And don't believe anybody that tries to tell you. The people that are trying to tell you it didn't happen are the people that are trying to cover it up, because they have more to gain from it. Just like I feel like I'm not going to go into that, but I feel like there's really old money and really old intentions, and they're not for our good, they're for their good and their survival and their perseverance. I met somebody who was in healthcare, and I feel like she was in healthcare because that's where the next boom was. Like, they had already planned to overturn Obamacare and do all these things. So if you got into it early, you're going to be making a lot of money now. So they know what's going to happen, because they're already creating the pattern and the trend. So they get into it early so that they can make the money. It's like a private boys club. But what we need to do is we need to unite as a culture, and we need to help each other out. The way the Jews help each other out, the way the Koreans, because I live in Flushing, they help each other out when they come here, and they stay united. We need to unite, and we need to stay united, and we need to help each other, and we need to move forward until we can get everyone to participate, and it'll be a global movement. It's not just about an individual movement, but it starts with an individual movement, and then it progresses until you can include everybody. And with that, I have to go mount a TV, so I'm going to go now. But I just wanted to share what I learned on this trip, the conversations that we've had. There was so much wisdom that was shared. I haven't even touched the surface. I'll probably make more videos about it later, but I just wanted to give you a quick synopsis. Thank you for sitting in my car with me and going through what I just went through. That's a day in my life. But yeah, and that's going to change soon too, because I know that my rewards are coming, and that I'm going to reap what I've sowed. And trust me, I've sowed. Boy, have I sowed. And there are a bunch of people that along the journey I told, when I become successful, I'm bringing you with me. Like, I'm not going to forget you. And I have a list of these people that I'm going to call upon when the time is right, and they're going to reap with me, because I never forget the people that helped me along my way and the people that were kind to me. So XOXO, hugs and kisses, and I will catch you guys later. Bye.